Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we're gonna talk about Spectral Blur. You might not know this device. It's actually coming with Ableton. It's part of the pack Creative extension, and it's a reverb-like effect. It's kind of a very specific reverb, very grainy, very noisy. I'm not gonna lie, it's not the reverb I use every day, but there is three specific way I will use it for techno. That's this kind of grainy, noisy reverb can fit perfectly. So let's jump into Ableton to show you. First, to find it, you need to go to Place, Packs. You have Creative extension here, you open Audioreakt, and you have your Spectral Blur. So I have this kind of dubby chord. You have delay, but you don't really have reverb, so we're gonna use Spectral Blur as a reverb. So this is the first example, but I'm gonna show you how the device works. It's kind of working perfectly for anything which is kind of dub ambient style, either chords or pads. We're gonna see for pads later. But yeah, now when I'm activating it, you can get the idea. You have two frequency. Basically, you're gonna define the signal that is blurred with these two filters. So for example, here it will be between 1 kilo and 10 kilo, but you can also select to be outside of that range with the out toggle button here. Let's go back to in. So this, you don't need to go crazy. Sometimes I just leave it at almost the maximum. So residual is basically the level of the unprocessed signal. If you want some part of that unprocessed signal, we're gonna leave it at 100% for now. Then you have this halo, which control basically the length of your effect. Very short, very long. You have a freeze button to self-explanatory kind of freeze the sound. So if you don't want to have the dry one, you need to bring down the residual, which works better, I think, freeze if you have residual down. We're gonna keep in halo like this, maybe reduce a little bit. Now then, here I haven't filtered it a lot, but so here you have the weight gain basically to kind of make your weight signal louder, because what can happen sometimes when you, especially when you filter a lot, obviously you make your sound a bit thinner and it become quieter, and then to have a more accurate balance later on with the dry wet, you can sometimes boost this weight gain. And then you can adjust the dry wet. So you also have delay compensation for the dry signal, because when you use this more as a texture, to create texture, it's fine, but like later when we're gonna use ride or open hats, you might wanna play with that to kind of make sure everything is in rhythm and like kind of sync. All right, now another creative way to use it, because it's a reverb and very noisy, it's actually perfect for rumble, techno rumble. So we're gonna use it on the kick. We have the 909 core kit. So here the idea is to kind of use Spectral Blur to create this kind of washout, rumbly, noisy reverb. So here it's maybe something short. You can make it longer, but again you will have a longer tail. Maybe crank up. Okay, now we have this, we have the kind of fully wet. Maybe we can group it to have the rumble here, and we're gonna create a chain with the dry, and maybe reduce 4 dB this one. So here I use the classic delay on 3 with 50% feedback, 100% dry wet, as basically it's parallel processing. So let's listen just the rumble. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna add the sidechain. I made this track, I put the link in the description. It's just gonna automatically duck your sound. Now maybe we can add a low pass filter. So we're gonna use auto filter, and we're gonna use 24 dB, and yeah, then you can adjust where you want it to be. Then you have a very stereo signal. So this is up to you if you wanna keep the rumble stereo or no, if you wanna make it a bit more mono. Or maybe keep a bit of the stereo. This is really up to you. But now if you mix it with the kick, and you can even add a bit of glue compression. And you have a pretty solid low end rumble. You can put in mono if you prefer. I will leave it in mono for now. So next example is to create this kind of washy 909 ride. So I have again the 909 core kit with the ride playing offbeat. And again, we can use Spectral Blur to kind of create this grainy washy ride effect, which usually works perfect for techno. Here again, you can leave it longer. Here I'm gonna put shorter, and later we're gonna add the delay to add a bit of groove. But yeah, it's always, you know, if you have a too long tail, obviously you might ended up with a lot of like kind of a, I wouldn't call it noise floor, but you know, this kind of long tail who's gonna sum up with other reverb long tail and kind of at the end create a bit of a mess. Yeah, so here I boost the weight gain, and obviously we still want our dry, and then I just add a bit of delay. It's nothing crazy, it's just a reverb, but because it's very grainy and noisy, it's just work perfect with the ride. What I was talking about the delay compensation, for example, here I have an open hat, and to be sync, I have to put the delay compensate to 1. And to, you see, put it, otherwise it doesn't sound good to me. Like this. Then I need to adjust a little bit, and then with the delay like this. Okay. And I really like the tone of this reverb, because you can see I just use this Spectral Blur, and like the track doesn't need reverb and it got a nice ambience, nice mood. And here's another example on dub chord. The great thing is that you don't really need to go crazy, like you can easily quickly get this reverb. To change the loop, bring it back to a normal one. And so it's true that until now I didn't really filter that much the wet signal. Here on this pad I filter it. You see, just I don't know, that's what I like, is just because it's straight up like kind of sound ambient, even if a bit far-fetched to say that, but you get the idea how for this specific type of sound, this noisy, grainy sound, this is great to use because you can quickly get the result. You just need to drop it and almost job done. Now, one thing, I'm gonna be fair and honest, this is a bit of luck, because sometimes on track you will think like, oh, this is gonna fit perfectly if I get this kind of reverb-like, and then the device kind of doesn't react really how you want. It doesn't really sound good, or it doesn't sound too different, let's say. But when it works, it's just like instantly very fast and you get to what you want. So yeah, hope you liked this video. If you wanna grab the project and the preset, is for my Patreon. I will put it in the description, and see you next time. Bye bye.